salutations to viewers and coins of the vault alike. I am Tatsumari, the self-proclaimed keeper of Maple story lore and stories alike. There are many who do it, but I am the only one who does it like me. Ha ha ha! Tonight, we give the stage to you, the viewer, the coin of the vault, the, shiny guys, shall we say. And we shall be reading story prompts written, or stories written from a prompt by you. Now, for those of you who were here last week, you will remember that I did a terrible job in trying to get you guys the story prompt so that you could have it for that week. So I decided to keep it up for this week. And the prompt is this. Let me see if I can get to where I can read it. You live in a world where reincarnation is a thing. However, you only reincarnate once everyone you ever knew has forgotten you. In your life, you have befriended an immortal being, and on your deathbed, this being proclaims that they will never forget you. But you have just reincarnated. Now, for those of you who did knock out a short story to go along with this prompt, you did knock it out in time for me to read it over last week. However, being that I carried it on this week, if you did submit last week, you can still submit this week if you so desire. That was, again, partially my problem, my fault, because I didn't get it to you soon enough. But that is not the only thing we're doing. The other thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be building some more on the Satisfactory Train Empire world that I am working on. So, while we're waiting for submissions of that, currently I am working on getting quartz up and running for some eventual stuff that I will need it for. Let's see if I can hit some buttons over here. There we go. And yeah, so I'm over here for veterans of the game. This is the desert area, and there are an absolute metric booty ton of resources over here that I'm going to be collecting. The main one of which is limestone. For those of you who know, yes, I am using the cheap silica recipe. For those of you who don't know, I need limestone to do a special recipe to extend out quartz because there's not a lot of quartz in the world. So, yeah. Anyways, we are going to be trying to get all of the limestone over here so we can collect it and then take it back to the processing plant over on the far side of the world. But, for whatever it is, thank you all for coming to today, and I hope you all have a very satisfactory time. But before we get on with all of that, those of you viewing on Twitch, there is going to be an ad break that I will have to let it run. So for those of you on Twitch, if you're immune to ads, great. If not, well, we shall be back in a little while. You'll get a nice splash screen, kind of waiting for stuff. I need to get into some clothes that are slightly more comfortable, and also get myself a bottle of water because I can already feel my mouth drying out. So, with that in mind, don't go anywhere. We shall be back after these massages. we appear to be back from those massages. So, let us get on to the factory expansion and the story reading. So, let me get the thing on. There we go. And then for both of you on YouTube and over on Twitch, you should be able to use the same command that's at the very bottom of this list over here to say you have a story that you want to read, which is ! Read my thing. And then once I check it out, once I see it, then you can, once I see it or once you put it in, send me a Google Docs link that you have written it in so that I can be sure to check it out. So, let the stories roll in. Let's get ready to rumble! I don't know what the song is, something epic sounding in the background, All right. In the meantime, I need to get some portable miners built, so that way I can have my automatic miners take care of the limestone. That was a terrible Goofy impression. Don't ever ask me to do Goofy. Of course, now everybody's going to ask me to do a Goofy impression now. Oh, boy. Okay, that reminds me. I think I need to go get some more frames. Because I'm pretty sure these Mark II auto miners take frames. Yes, they do, and they take 10 of them. Ouch! All right. Also, I did some fiddling with the game volume. Oh, all right. Let's get ready to rumble. We have our first submission of the evening by Mama Rednecks. All right, then. Let me get over to the machine shed over here. And we'll get over here and check it out. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get over into the writing office. Yes, I know you guys can't see anything yet. Give me a second. There we go. Oh, scoot this over a little bit. Alright, so, remembered, yet forgotten, by Mama Rednecks. In the countryside, life was simple, even for a nobleman's son. Joy ended for Vasil. Vasil? Is it Vasil? Or Vasil? Badil. Basil. Oh, so like Vasil? Is that what is it supposed to be Basil or Vasil? Because I see a V here. If it's supposed to be a B, then I'll work with, I'll kind of do the correction with a B, but if it's supposed to be a B, then I'll can't type V, sounds like a B. Oh, okay. Basil. Okay. Okay. In the countryside, life was simple, even for a nobleman's son. Joy ended for Basil the day the village he called home was seized by the enemy. Fighting valiantly, Basil had been gravely wounded when a mysterious man arrived. The feral look in the man's eyes made him wary. Offered a way to survive his injuries, Vasil refused. As death crept closer, his wounds festered, and he relented. Attacked by the stranger, Vasil's heart slowed. One beat, then another, the space between each stretching longer and longer before it finally stopped. Moments later, it started again, transforming him into something ruled by cravings. Vasil spent his lifetime avenging those he had once called family and friends. When it came time to move on and begin a new life elsewhere, Vasil arrived in the heavy fog of London. It did not take long for him to establish himself among the upper ranks of the London aristocracy. That was when he first saw her. Catherine was the daughter of a French shipping merchant and had grown up in the lap of luxury. The moment Vasil laid eyes on her, he became obsessed. After months of rejection, Catherine finally relented and agreed to a courtship with him. Not long after, while Vasil was away fighting against Parliament, Catherine fell ill and died. Vasil returned to their estate too late. Devastated, he swore he would never forget her. Staring down at the city below him, Vasil puffed on his cigar slowly. The grime of the city, the stench in the air, the noise that never seemed to quiet. It all reminded him of London, nearly 300 years later. The ache in his heart twinged, but the grief had long since passed. Lifetime after lifetime of searching for the one woman who he had made his dead heart stir had turned Vasil cold and sinister. A knock sounded at the door, and Vasil turned away from the view and called for his boyvik to enter. The look on Victor's face made him pause. "Plakan," Victor said. His tongue rang across his fang before continuing. "You need to stop by and do acquisition. I have something you will find interesting." The side of his mouth curved up into a smile. "Welcome to the Velvet Fork," a woman said as Vasil entered. "Right this way, Mr. Drakov. Your table is waiting." Sitting with his back to the wall, Vasil observed the room from the vantage point. Waiting to see what Victor had meant, Vasil's eyes scanned the room repeatedly. That was when he saw her. The soft brown hair pulled back tightly in a low bun, light wisps of hair falling to frame her light blue eyes. The soft, upturned nose, the curve of her jawline and full lips. Her body, now encased in a fitted uniform, held a different profile, yet Vasil knew the shape. She looked every bit the woman he'd known all those centuries ago. Vasil couldn't take his eyes off her. When she came to the table, her warm smile caught him off guard. The dimple below her left eye deepened. It had always been his favorite. "What is your name?" he asked, the roughness in his voice coming from the restriction in his chest. "I'm Elizabeth. I will be taking care of you tonight, Mr. Darkov." Her smile grew deeper until Vasil could feel his own starting to form. When he spoke, his voice was deep and rumbling. "Call me Vasil." What may I get you the drink, sir?" she asked, pivoting the conversation to something more neutral. With each conversation over the course of the evening, Vasil attempted to learn more about her. but she thwarted his efforts with a bright smile that had lost its friendliness hours ago. For centuries, he had searched for her in the faces of so many different women, their voices blurring together. This time would be different. This time he would not let Catherine slip through his fingers. He would make her his forever, now that she had come back to him. The ceramic vase sailed through the air, crashing into the wall where Basile had stood mere seconds before. "Stay away from me!" Elizabeth shouted. "You are mine, Catherine." "Catherine," he growled. "I don't know, Catherine!" Elizabeth screeched at him. "Whoever she is lucky to have gotten away from you!" As Elizabeth reached for another object to hurl, Basile gripped her wrist, preventing her from throwing anything else. Her denial set his rage on fire. "You are my Catherine. You are my Catherine. I know every inch of this face." And far away, in another place entirely, a child drew her first breath as the soul of a woman reincarnated into the world. All right. I like it a lot. That was very, very satisfactory. Big claps in the chat. Very nicely done. I like it. So, there's two things that come to mind with that story. One, I gotta ask, were you kind of leaning towards him becoming a vampire, or him becoming something like along the lines of Highlander, where there's just, a bad accident made you immortal for some unknown reason? This, I gotta go back to the industrial factory to go get some more stuff. Pans! Welcome. How are you doing? Just an immortal, but got mixed up with vampires in the underground. I gotta have that dark stuff. I could see where you were kind of like slipping into that, and you're like, wait, this is for Tatsu's stream. Let's back off a little bit. Yo, just surviving the bipolar weather of Virginia State. Nice! Well, nice? Question mark? So were you... So Pans, were you able to have a short for the prompt, or you just here for the vibes tonight? Either way is fine. Just checking. One day it's over 80 degrees, next it's snowing. Wait! Stop the train! Kind of reminds me of that scene from, Polar Express? Where the fat guy, the engineer, he's out front, he's yelling back to the thing, going, "Stop the train!" Ooh, I do have mine. I didn't edit it, but let me get into it, Doctor. It's all good. No rush. This, like I said, or like I put in the kind of the description tags of this one for Twitch, this is all just chill. We're having fun here. It is purely for entertainment. Are you not entertained? And before anyone asks, no, I have not seen that movie. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of load-bearing columns under here. So that way it's not just floating in the air. Because as much as I'd like to think so, this factory has not been built by wizards. It has been built by a very technically minded dragon. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Hey, you know how my cow feels. I already told you about that one. And somehow, through friend requests, I ended up writing a Squirtle Bulbasaur religious angst fanfic. Okay. I will have to admit, I'm not the biggest... I'm not up on my Pokemon lore. But, how do you think it turned out? And did the friend like it? That's gonna be the biggest, no, I didn't want to put that there. That's gonna be the biggest, hurdle, I guess you could say. Did you think it came out okay? Decently good, gave him the premise. Alright, cool. And for those of you who are unaware, I am not an authority on writing whatsoever. I'm just some dragon who happens to have a Twitch channel and who likes to help other writers out with my perspective on stuff and sharing stories. Because after all, stories are the first step in becoming legends. Ah! Oh no! I didn't... Wow. How did I miss that one? Okay, I'll come back for that later. So one more friend needs to read it, but everyone so far finds it enjoyable. Alright, cool! Very, very cool. As long as you're not yelling at yourself, burn it with fire, then I would call that a win. And for everybody over on YouTube, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're having a good evening, or morning, or whatever time it is you guys are currently in. And this time I'm letting the autopilot take over. I'm gonna see if I can keep my train crashes to a minimum. If, like, non-existent. Of course, it wouldn't be a Tatsumari stream without at least one crash. So there might be one along the way somewhere. I think I did a pretty good job on that. Alright, so as soon as I get over to the factory over there, I will check that out. I don't know. I think that's how the song goes for all you Nintendo nerds out there. But I don't know for sure. Alright. So now that we're arriving at the station, let's get on to it. Whoa, what happened to my mouse? There we go. Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's get into the writing office. And I like the title over here. Prompt number who knows what. That made me giggle. Oh, hold on. Let's see, get a little more situated over here. There we go. Alright, so this is by Attracted to Pans. Once you wake up, you are never quite the way you once were, and you only remember for the first few years of your life. Once you hit schooling age, your mind is essentially whipped for new memories to form. I once knew someone who never got to reincarnate, but that was not because I remembered them. It was because they couldn't die by anything. They once showed me they had taken a butcher's knife and cut right through their wrist bone. I could hear the cracks and the pieces of bone lingered on the kitchen counter. I was prepared to lose them right then and there to blood loss. But it regrew almost before I could blink. It is hard to... It's okay. It's alright. I'm pretty sure I can kind of work around it. It is hard to get the image of that countertop and the exposed bone and veins from one's head. So the idea of them no longer living felt impossible. I can't imagine they would ever break such a promise. The one they made on my deathbed. So when my eyes open and I sit in the lap of my mother, my lips only letting out babbles and my hands unable to even grip my food, I know something was wrong. There is another bed beside me, another crib. A woman and a man leaning over us. Look at them, sweetie. Or, look at them, sweetie. The man reached a finger down to me. I gripped it, but not out of hope to bond with my new father, but to try and pull up with what little strength I have and find my fellow baby to my left. I failed to pull up, instead being lifted into my father's arms. My mother is holding the other baby, wrapped in a deep pink blanket. In the tiny babbling of the other baby, did the tiny words only babies could hear ring out. Hello? Yes, you're awake. He let his hands continue to play with his father's fingers. It was just something that everyone had done not to creep out their new parents. Who are you? How would I know? They haven't told us. The other baby snapped, refusing to play with their mother's hands. Ah, babe, look at them. They're reaching out for each other. Our little twin bugs, already reaching for each other. Little Leia and Marshall. Well, there you go, she spat. Leia and Marshall. Tam, Marshall? I can't resist judging. Though through my baby mouth it sounds much more like a giggle. I much prefer my old name. Which was? Carlos. Yours? Helen. Well then, why don't we talk more? What do you remember about your past life? I tried to distract myself with another's life than mine. Perhaps it would be happier. All I remember is a good friend. Their parents soon let them rest, placing them within the same crib this time. I remember the same, though they died quite long before I died. I lived a long while. How long, if you don't mind? Let's say I broke more than a few records. She laughed, her smile feeling awfully familiar. How long did you live for? Only up to 20. I tried to shrug, but couldn't bring my tiny baby shoulders wrapped tightly in the blanket. Short life. I didn't think I would ever get to reincarnate, though. Someone special? Someone who wasn't going to die easily. I say, leaving it at that. There was a small part of my gut that urged me to tell them, but my old friend deserved to start off a fresh life guilt-free. I needed to show them how to pretend to not be dead, be a dead infant after all. And I have a feeling they are not going to enjoy baby food. All right. I like it. I like it quite a lot. It was very what's the word I'm looking for? Very wholesome. Very, very wholesome. So, thank you for that. It was very satisfactory. Big old claps in the chat for you. And a big old heart for you. So, just out of curiosity, just on kind of like with at least this is my perception of it. Were you hinting that this other baby would have been that immortal friend? Yes, let's get some hype in the chat. Woohoo! Just plain curiosity. Yep. Nice. All right. That'd be kind of cool to see a continuation of that sometime. You know, not now, of course, you know. And I know you probably have other writing projects that are, like, much more pressing and much more interesting to you. But all the same, I think maybe somewhere down the road, save that one. And whenever you need a chance, continue on it. I think it'd be kind of an interesting story. They passed on for unspecified reasons, and they reincarnated as twins. I would say that maybe... Because, you know, this other person was an immortal. So, you would kind of have to make up some rules, I guess, to, like, maybe they are, maybe they necessarily aren't like actually immortal, but they're just extremely hard to kill because of how you portrayed their extreme healing factor. Kind of like Wolverine or something like that. So you could probably do to where, say, if the injuries overwhelmed their like healing abilities, to where the injuries just like kept coming, and eventually it just the injuries surpass the amount of healing that is that their body is capable of. Or you could do something to where maybe like there is a a technology or a magic somewhere that suppresses that healing factor, or maybe there's some artifact that was built like many centuries ago to like maybe people started out as immortal or something like that, but or extremely hard to kill, but because of like overpopulation, that was stuff that they had to find a way to like finally let these quote unquote immortals die, so that there wouldn't be just an overabundance of these people who wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, when I made her old name Helen, I was thinking about Helen of Troy. So maybe we can lean into that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, so she would like, based on that story, then she would be even older. Like she was already much older than she let on when she met him. Is that kind of what you were leaning into there, or maybe leaning into that? Like she was around for the fall of Troy. Like she was the Helen of Troy, and she is just. Ooh, you know what? That would be kind of interesting. Like maybe lean into the whole Helen of Troy story, and maybe her learning of. I have to look back at what the original story is. But maybe the fall of Troy was so like kind of tweak it a little bit to where the fall of Troy was so like traumatic for her that it like flipped a switch in her biology or something like that, to where she's like she didn't know it, but she's like seeking revenge. It also makes sense that to be the reason she was taken. You don't want to bring Greek gods into the story. Yeah. You could do that too. Either way, if you do continue it, I would like to check it out sometime. But don't continue it because I said I want you to. Continue it because you think it would be interesting. Ah! Oh, wait. Right, I don't have the autopilot on. So as soon as I jump out, it stops. Yay! Okay, let's get back in the train. Okay, so let's... Cards load 2. All right. Let's take a ride! Because originally it starts with the Golden Apple story, then through that, and Aphrodite does some stuff she shouldn't, and that's how the one dude from Troy thinks it's right to take Helen against her will, marry, blah blah blah. Trojan War happens. Okay. All right. So, yeah, if I can't remember if I'm kind of getting my stories mixed up. Wasn't in like the Greek stuff, golden apples, I think they're called ambrosia. Wasn't it either like a later edition or something that was part of the original, like the Greek stuff, to where the Greek gods weren't like technically immortal, like they had to consume ambrosia to continue being gods. Wasn't that the case, or am I getting that mixed up with the immortal peaches from the Monkey King story? Okay. I mean, I know it makes them a deity, but did it make them also quote unquote immortal? Ah, okay. Okay, so refresh my memory. Did anybody actually eat that apple? Or was it mentioned somewhere that somebody ate that apple? That specific apple? Because there is an angle I'm kind of seeing you could possibly take with that. Okay, so what if, again, this is just a very big what if, you were kind of to take that a little bit and expand upon it. And that Helen, being that she was, I guess, curious about how it tasted, actually took a bite of it, and thus made her into this functionally immortal being. Because what's more chaotic in a world of mortals than an immortal? I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it was thrown by Eris, the goddess Strife. Winning, she did not invent two. Basically, Hera, argument of who's the more worthy to have it. She bribes the man. Yeah, okay, that part I remember. I was just trying to remember, you know, get it to a spot where there's some. Yeah, okay. And I was trying to remember if there was a spot in this story. Like, I was trying to figure out if there was a spot in this story where there's some, like, some blanked out details. Not necessarily blanked out, but missing details or no details given to where you could kind of, like basically a chink in the armor is kind of what I'm looking for in this story. To where you could fit something in there that would make it work for the rest of your story. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. But yeah, you might be able to do that. Because, I mean, think about it this way. Everybody who's rich in the world technically wants to be immortal. Right? I mean, at least that's what it kind of seems like a lot of the times. So, if you were to just have somebody goes, hey, guess what? I bit an apple and now I'm immortal. Now everybody wants to get a hold of their DNA and figure out, okay, what makes you immortal? How did you get your immortality? I must have it. You know. And then, like, you could also do that to where maybe she was also part of some other big events in history that led to wars because of her. I mean, you'd have to be kind of pick and choose here and there, because as time went on, you know, less and less got started over the fact that, you know, oh, woman, beautiful woman get kidnapped from kingdom. Me big man go unga boonga. But yeah, you could have her be involved in other places. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do that. I mean, Oh me, oh me, big man, take woman from city, onga bonga. Is that kind of what you were after? I mean, the world wars and Nazi experiments does come to mind. Well, you might be able to kind of work with the experiments in such a way. But you have to be careful with that. I mean, you know, it's just so much that you're not, like, for lack of better terms, glorifying the experiments. I mean, yes, they were all horrific, but not like, you know, maybe kind of more so, maybe even just like touch on them, just to say, you know, oh, this was a thing that happened because I happened to be around in the area. At least that would be my take on it. Depends on how brutal you want to get with it. Of course, that would also be like maybe part of her backstory leading up to the events where she meets Vadik. Or not Vadik. Carlos. Yeah. Oh! I have a great idea. Okay, I have a thing that just popped into my head that will probably make it work. Because I totally picked the wrong accent to do that story in. Especially since your male character's name is Carlos. Okay. What if she was around during like the conquistadors that came to, I mean, again, another bad part in history, but she was around during the Spanish conquistadors that came to South America. That part will look. What have we got going on here? Oh, it's a time for some blasting. Ready, Rico? Kaboom. Yes, Rico. Kaboom. There was a movie a while back. I think it was kind of like a dramatized version of Columbus. I can't remember what it was called, but there was before he took off, there was El Dorado. Yes. Well, not El Dorado. The particular movie I'm thinking of, I could swear it's just called Columbus. But anyway, it kind of follows Christopher Columbus himself as he is getting ready to leave for, you know, the expedition to the quote unquote New World. And there were a few scenes that they were a tad bit on the spicy side, but between him and his wife at the time. So that's like maybe not necessarily that, but just the idea that maybe she was around during the conquistador days. And like to try and keep from exposing herself as an immortal, she basically trying to... Oh.
Attempt number 7,853,206. Are you there?
Orchestral tuning.
Ah, good. I think I understand better now.
Your curves are beautiful.
How inappropriate. Tell me more.
Your mimic tapestry follows the pattern. It swallows temples. It is harmonious.
If I could blush, I would.
Okay, machines and unknown entities talking to one another. Whew, I barely survived that. Anyway. But yeah, like the other thing you could do is with like Rednex was saying, you could do the something with having to do with El Dorado. You could kind of lean into the whole mythology of that. Because at least as far as I understand, El Dorado wasn't necessarily an actual city. At least from stuff I have seen. Barely survived that, he says, after calmly walking from the cave. You could, and like, you could also have her be part of, legends from, like, all across the world about, you know, goddesses and whatnot. Because, heck, she's immortal. She's practically immortal. And it'd be interesting to see, you know, what kind of stories you could put together that have immortal deities or immortal beings. That would be like, oh yeah, you know, there's this god, like, people are all in anthropology and be like, oh yeah, you know, there's this deity that these people had, and there was this and that and the other, and like you like string it together, and it's like it's just all her all throughout history. That'd be kind of funny. At least I think it would be funny. All right, so we can probably take this down for now, and then this. We're going to take this and we're going to turn it into iron plates. So we have a steady supply. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, you could do that too. And like, well, yeah, you could kind of do that, like have some good, some, or not, maybe not good, but, you know, not so bad and some really bad. Because they would be maybe trying to figure out a way to gain her immortality or something like that, and she's just like, you guys, you really don't want that. It's not as great as it sounds. And they're like, oh, but, you know, being immortal means we're closer to you, goddess. You know, all of that different stuff. Yes, I know, I'm making all kinds of weird noises tonight. Alright, so can I double this? I can. And it's still not going to quite be enough, so I need to... Oh, wait, no. That was... No, it's not. That's perfect. Alright, so let's... We need to boost this a little bit. Let's go like 78. There we go. Alright, cool. Now we can have a steady supply of iron plates being made very, very quickly. Alright. I meant cult doesn't necessarily mean bad, just like non-official religion. It would be interesting to write a cult sort of understood. So clearly, trust. That's right. Yeah, you could do that. though. Oh, maybe maybe it could. You'd have to do it. Well, I mean, not have to do it, but it would probably work best if it was from a Latin America, or not Latin America, but a Latin-based culture that has a Latin-based language, like Spain or something like that. So that way you can have the excuse to have the name Carlos. Because, like I said, it was kind of my bad to give Carlos an Irish accent. And I'm pretty sure there's no, at least I haven't seen anybody named Carlos from the Great Green. My brain wants to write a non-evil cult. I've never had this happen. Well, that is both the curse and the blessing of having people who are writer friends, right? You never specified where the new parents were from. True that. True. That could also be true. But at least if you were to do it from, like I said, some Latin-based country where he's originally from, at least that would give you the excuse why his name is Carlos. Like his old name, per se. But yeah, his new. For all we know, he could have been. And like you said, you also don't have a time frame of where he's at, so he could have been birthed in like a brand new, like right in the middle of like the Irish War for Independence or something like that. So yeah, I mean it's all good. And then I don't know why my mind went like this, but then it being that they two got together and eventually their bloodlines converged and they all ended up with the YouTuber Jacksepticeye. Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be an adventure? All right. Certainly be plot. Yeah, and the next thing you know, it's gonna be showing up on his channel. Top of the morning to you laddies! My name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome to the fact that I now have a fan fiction written about me! Entire book-length story. World building final chapter. Start a YouTube channel. And then befriending this weirdo named Markiplier. Markiplier and PewDiePie. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted to build. That's what I wanted to build. So this is a normal. So we need to... Oh, wait, no, we can crank this all the way up. They wake up and the epilogue finds their son in a frantic call in the middle of the night with Matt Pat after he got the first ever recorded golden... Oh. Now watch, somebody's probably going to clip that whole thing right there, and eventually it's going to probably find its way to Jacksepticeye. That'd be hilarious. There's like 20 people in the call. It is the "Are You Winning, Son" meme. Are you winning, son? If he sees this, I am writing it. That would be hilarious, though. That would be absolutely hilarious. Of course, I doubt it would ever happen, but, you know. Weirder things have happened in the past. All right, so we do have an ad break coming up here in a minute. I'm going to continue kind of working on this over here through the ad break while we're still waiting on some more submissions if you guys want. Still time to submit. Oh, some bookbinding. Imagine I write a full thing and send it a special signed bookbind. Yeah, really. But yeah, there is an ad break coming up. I'm going to continue working on this to try make sure we can get some limestone up and running here. So if you're immune to ads, great. If not, well, we'll be back shortly. So don't, or you'll be back shortly. And if you do get thrown in ad jail, there is a command for that. So do the thing. All right, so... Yeah! All right. Okay, there we go. So... Mr. Bean, you're getting in the way. Whoops. Do 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 do. Okay. Nope. What the heck? Mr. Bean! Excuse me, Mr. Bean. You are in the way of me building my factory. Please move. Whoa! I want to fall off. I do not know why my throat is suddenly so dry. Ironic, I'm over here swimming through water. Alrighty. Alright. Here we go. There we are. Okay. All right. I need to get back up to the roof. To the roof. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay. So. All right, for everybody who was in ad jail a little while ago, welcome back. Alrighty. Whee! Freedom! Oh no, wait. We gotta do this proper. Hold on. Give me just a second. We gotta do this proper. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. I need to check it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to see if I can do this for those of you who come back from ad breaks. But now that you're back,
Freedom!
Demo Man from TF2. All right. Now, let's continue on with our factory over here. Oh, I have this conveyor belt in the wrong spot. I know, I know what speech you're referencing, Rednecks, but I've never seen that scene, at least not in its entirety. So I can't, I can't act it. Good grief! Why is my voice so like messed up all of a sudden? I feel like I'm trying to breathe goobers. No, I fell down. All right. Mr. Bean. You are currently in the way, you big fat tick. Are you laughing at me? Because you're in the way. Don't laugh at me! I mean, the weather being wonky messes with our bodies a lot, so maybe it got hit too. It always hits myself. Well, I did also... I had some Chipotle for dinner earlier today. And I had some... Like, I have the burritos I have, usually have spicy salsa on it. And sometimes it kind of comes back recycled a little bit, and it doesn't feel great. So that happened a little while ago. And so now my throat is a little ouchies from recycled hot salsa. So yeah, that's probably it. Anyways. You watch it, you have to watch Robert the Brute too. Personally, I think it's a better movie than Braveheart. Okay. Robert the Bruce? Or Bruce the Brute? I am become confuzzled. Robert the Bruce? Okay. Wait, what? What? Oh, these are in the wrong direction, that's why. He's the man that takes him on William Wallace's stance and frees the people from the prison. Okay. I mean, I get it, just the fact that his name is Robert the Bruce is a little it's making my brain go eh. My brain is not braining. And for a minute there when you said William Wallace, for whatever reason I thought you were going to say Wallace and Gromit. Don't worry, lad. We'll free the Scots eventually. First, we need to get ourselves some Wensleydale. Because if we don't, I don't know what we're going to do without that cheese. Okay, cool. So then we're going to take wait. Can we do There we go. Wait, I want the customizer, the fix-it foundation. There we go. That reminds me. Those were the two goats of my, or three. They were basically what amounted to the holy trinity goats of my childhood. Thomas the Tank Engine, Wallace and Gromit, and JJ the Jet Plane. The original. I guess, there is the fourth one, Blues Clues, the original. I will admit, Blues Clues with Steve, total goat. Total goat. And I don't know if any of you know this, but a little while ago, Steve came back and he did one little short of him, quote unquote, coming back from college and basically saying, hey, how's everybody doing? I see you continued on with your life. It's probably on YouTube somewhere, but the original Steve came back and basically said, hey, how you doing? You're doing awesome. And after, it was kind of funny to see, a lot of people were going, they were showing little things of, people going, shedding tears or something like that. It's like, yes, Steve, I'm still here. Or there's that one meme of the kid who's, when a music hits hard and he's crying out, ah! He's got his, fist up in the air. Or there's the one chicken meme, I think it is, where it's a bunch of different... Has anyone listened to Bert and Ernie podcast yet from Sesame Street? I didn't even know they had that. Is it just Bert trying to be a smart guy talking about a good topic, and Ernie just being like, well, Bert, I just want to let people over here and hear my little rubber ducky. And don't you know, Bert, that when you do things... Pigeons and rubber duckies. Okay, so I do have this already boosted. Yeah, Spotify link. Personally, I have never used Spotify. Oh, I do already have that one boosted. But you feel free to share the link. For anybody else interested out there, you are more than welcome to check out the link. I will not stop you. Okay, so is this everything from this side? Just just going to Spotify because it seems to be Spotify. Yeah. No. It's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, like, you know, I could probably find it somewhere if I want to listen. When and if I want to listen to it. But if you know where it is on Spotify, by all means, grab the link, share it around. Because we're all about listening to the goats. The goats of childhood. Generation Alpha must know how goated we were. Okay. What am I planning to do? Right, I need to check this one over here if it was boosted. 'Tis boosted. Okay. Now I need to know if this is all of the... Okay. Right, that appears to be all of this limestone in this area. Hold on. Need to look at a thing. Oh. Okay. But yeah, like there's that meme that talks about, I think it's different animals talking about like their prehistoric ancestors, you know, I lost this, I lost this, I lost that, I lost this. I think the last one is a saber-toothed tiger going, I lost my presents. And it's the last one with the chicken going, remember who you are! And it's set to like the, what is it, the Lion King music? Those chickens haven't forgotten they are vicious things. Oh, nice. Lots of plates. Because I will need them. Well, one good punt and you have yourself a nice recipe. You have a nice offering to the KFC gods. Of course, there is that one chicken from, what's it? Despicable Me? Pollito? Living a migration path, we get them twice a year. Oh, so you get like wild chickens around you? Oh, geese. Okay. Like the one I've seen, it always brings up that it's chickens that are the ones that are like told never to forget who they are. It's like chickens, and then it has like a T-Rex in the background or something like that. That's what I was referring to. Okay, so all right. Ah, okay. Okay, so my bad. I got the mess up. Like, did you know the asteroid caused glass to rain from the sky? Hmm. Ah! I'm stuck! Now I'm not stuck. Alright, let's see. Doot, 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 doot. Okay, there we go. Alright. Cool. Why T-Rex arms look like ostrich wings without foot. I actually saw someone, or saw something that someone said one time, that we may have miscategorized T-Rexes all along. That, you know, well, beside the fact that maybe the bones are not really the bones of the creature, but besides that fact, somebody was bringing up a question: is that what if they weren't actually, you know, two-legged lizards? What if they were technically winged dragons, like feather dragons, just without the fire? That's a terrifying thought. So let's bring you all the way over here. Well, I mean, even still, even if they were able to just only glide, even if they were only to just be able to glide, can you think of how terrifying it would be just to see this giant thing come rocketing at you the size of like a miniature or a Learjet? Can you imagine seeing the size of a Learjet coming at you? Like, oh, it's suddenly got dark all of a sudden. I wonder what's between the sun. Oh my gosh! Hello, come on. Come on, tracking. Come on. Come on. Hello, tracking. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, take some comfort in this. If those creatures were to come up, they'd probably explode because there's not enough pressure to keep them put together. Is that definitely what's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but it is an interesting thought. Not only that, but it would probably get a severe case of the bends. Either that or it would be very uncomfortable. Oh no, I need concrete. I don't know. It's just a thought I'm having. I'm having a brainwave. Here's a creepy thought. What if there is something similar to a megalodon, but in space? There are gypsy creatures that have come out to the surface when they death and something that's such as an earthquake. It is possible, but very energy consuming. They would likely survive back down without help. They could, especially in a place like this crazy place like here. Oh, yeah, that's true. Dude, if you guys want something that'll make you absolutely terrified of space, look up this series. Look up this series. I think it's The Moon Woke Up or something like that, or The Moon Awakened, by a channel called Mr. Friend. That'll get you terrified of the stars, for sure. It's kind of along the same lines as like an indie it's an indie animation studio that did it. Yeah. And like, okay, so, and actually in all technicality, for D&D, in D&D lore, that's exactly what space is. The moon wakes up. Yeah, there you go. That's what outer space is in D&D, and like not even the gods will go there. And that's where you also get your creatures like the mind flayers. So that's one. Ah, there we go. I can see now. I can see clearly now. My flashlight's off. Sweet. 1, 2. I need one more. Boppity boppity burr. That kind of made me think of Scaramouche from Samurai Jack. Hey, how you doing, babe? Name's Scaramouche. Aku's #1 assassin. And I'm coming here to take you down, babe. Oh, I'm loving the bushy look there, babe. Too bad you're not gonna be much around much longer there. But hey, I do have a reputation to keep, babe. So, you're just gonna have to face me, Scaramouche, Aku's #1 assassin, babe. Oops. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. And if I remember correctly, I think Scaramouche only shows up in like the Samurai Jack final season. Which I don't know how many of you how many of you guys have seen Samurai Jack, the original series before? Oh. Como say who? Samurai Jack. It was an old cartoon series that was on Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, for a while. It had this kind of, for lack of better terms, it had kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? It had a very like MTV style kind of animation and like storylines and the way it was put together. And then just recently, they came out with the final season, which, you know, I saw. I saw the original series. I've watched the original series, and I've seen this final season. I thought it was perfectly fine. But a lot of people were really, you know, kind of not happy with it because it didn't live up to the previous stuff, I guess. But, you know, I thought it was pretty good. Of course, usually when I watch cartoons, I'm not really thinking too heavily about the artistic value and the writing quality or anything like that. I'm usually just there to watch entertainment. So yes, that's probably on me. But who knows? I mean, I'm a writer who doesn't read, so, you know, do with that what you will. Wait a minute. The concrete is over here! Okay, I'm going to get rid of these, because that's slowing me down. I'm going to get... Yum! Bacon mushrooms! Alright, so I'm going to put some of this stuff in the... I'm going to put some of this in the train car so that way it doesn't... Gives me some more inventory room. I don't need you. I don't need you, you, or you. Do I? No, I don't. Okay. I don't need you. Oh, train car's full. Okay, whatever. But I do need all of you. Whee! All right. Oh, itchy shoulder all of a sudden. Okay, dokie. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Don't want to do that. And there we go. I feel like I know this joke, but it's not coming to mind. How many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? I honestly don't remember where that's from. Okay. That's probably why I don't remember it, because I think I've only seen that movie once. Okay, Oh, sorry, guys. Trying to scratch my head and ended up slamming into the microphone there. That I am well aware of. Of course, then I was also bummed out when they came out with an extremely goofy movie, and Max and Roxanne were. But from what I understand, they also did an explanation for that, why they were no longer a thing. In I think it was Mickey's House of Mouse or something like that. And they basically just did a thing to where they met up later. Roxanne was a waitress at that place, and Max walked in, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they just kind of talking to each other, but also clued the audience in that the reason they broke up is because they just wanted different things in their life. Which, you know, to be honest, I've had that happen to me. But, still a bummer. Okay. There we go. All right. like this. All right. Let's see if we can get these hooked up before our 2-hour mark comes across. There's the satisfactory 2-hour mark. Which just means I opened up the game a little bit before you guys showed up, so technically doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we're going to take you down. Duh! No, I got a hole in the floor. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Whee! Two. Okay. So, what we're going to do over here, if we are going to take this, and we're going to bring it over here, and then we're going to put it up, and then we're going to take it and put it down. I should have not gone back to the internet for our new dino phase. Gosh, internet, why must you make me cry? What? Did you happen to look up Littlefoot and him saying goodbye to Mama? Oh no! You know, the only thing I can think of that's worse... There's two things I can think of that's worse than saying goodbye to Mama. One, Bambi's mom getting shot. Or two, Nina and Alexander. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you know, you know. If you don't, look up those two names, and then you'll know. I actually don't have Netflix, so I cannot say that I have. All right. And it's an animation that follows dinos after the asteroid. Ah, okay. Okay, time for a little aggressive landscaping. Okay, so where does... Oh, okay, just right there. Put you right there. And put you right here. We stretch cable from point to point and make sure we go around corner very nicely. Actually, no, we're not going to stretch or do that. We are actually going to do something a little different. We are going to go from there to here. And then land on top of the tree over... No! I missed! Okay, well, fine. Okay. Dang it! I went for a swim before I could attach the electronics. Okay. Can I... Not from here. Dab nabbit! Yeah, great. Now my socks are all wet. Okay, come on. Where's the attachment point? It's hidden behind the tree! Okay. Alright, there we go. I think that's about right. Yes! I got it right. Okay, but I need it to be a single. Okay, we're almost done here. And we are going to get our auto miners hooked up. And then we shall call it an evening. Actually. Do this. Yeah. Okay, so we got that. And if you want to get your story read, there's still a little bit of time left before the end of the stream. If not, you know, we're probably we might move on to the next prompt, but that does not mean you can't submit your story from the previous prompt. Just have to let me know which prompt it's from, and then we'll go from there. All right. We got one... No, I don't want to get in here. We got one miner going. Let's see, can we get a second one going? A little bit short. Right there. Okay. And power! Oh, I forgot.
There's another one over here we gotta put power to.
Put you there, and then we're gonna give you power. And are you boosted? Yes, you're boosted. Let's go. And we got one last miner way over there to put power to. Which we're going to put more power to, or put more miners over here because we have iron and copper that we want to extract so that we can make our dreams of a worldwide train network for materials come to life. We will be the train tycoon. Excuse me, Mr. Bean. Excuse me, Mr. Bean. You are in the way. Okay, we shall put one right here. And power! All right. And we shall wait for go back to the station to wait for limestone to arrive. And then that is where we shall call it a day. Okay, we got 2 of our miners blasting our station with limestone. We got 3 of our stations or 3 miners blasting with limestone into the air. Doing good so far. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Okay. And now we await the arrival of the pale yellow stone. What's going on here? Oh, I don't need to worry about that. 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 Uh-oh. I think I have the wrong style node over here. Oh well. I'll get to it later. But that is going to call it for us for the evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much for the stories that you guys have provided. I hope you're all at least mildly entertained, and I hope you were all very satisfied with this with stuff you saw here. I hope to see you again next time, so bye-bye! No, we're not going out yet, just yet. So, what I have in mind, let me see, let's get ready to get out, let's see. Here's the button. So, what I have in mind is that this coming week, this coming Sunday, I'm going to go back into MapleStory, and we're doing part 6, I believe it is, of the MapleStory mainline story. We wrapped up Elysium. We took back... Wait, where's the dino name? Bambiraptor? Bambiraptor? Life is about to get so much sadder. But yeah, we took out Elysium, we took out Magnus, we've taken it back for the Nova people, and I believe we got started. I'm going to have to check where we were because I don't remember off the top of my head. Off the top of my head. My head. I need to look at my head. Let's see. Where did we go? Oh, yes! The Lion King Castle. With Von Leon. We shall continue on with the story of that and figure out whether or not he is still a threat to us or continuing to serve the Black Mage as his commander. Bring your tissues, because it's kind of a sad story. But, yeah. I hope to see you there. And then on Wednesday, we will have a writing stream where I'm going to be working on MapleStory, the novel Guardians. I believe it's channel 13. I think I'm almost done with it, and I have to go back and maybe do some final checks on it. So we might be on chapter 14 this time around. So we're doing some writing. I'm doing some writing. You guys can ask all kinds of writing questions and stuff like that. Get some stuff read if you so desire, if you want to shed your scales for that. And all kinds of fun stuff. And then next week, we shall be back with more prompt writing. So, I will get you guys, let's see, the new prompt for this coming week shall be... All right, so the prompt is this for you guys next week. The villain looks at you and says, "You were supposed to be better than me." So yeah, do with that what you will. Very simple, but probably so many possibilities. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you got. And so that will be starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next week. So I hope to see you there, and I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. Let's see. In the meantime, let me see. Let me see. What have we got over here? All right. I was going to try to raid out, but we have nobody in our friends group or at least nobody in my follow channels that's on right now. So, of course, everybody that would be on is currently probably asleep. So that's probably why. But, yeah. I hope to see you next time.
There's a feeling deep inside. Let it be your prayer. Show me the power you can hide.
Thanks everyone for coming to the stream, and I hope to see you again next time. If you want to catch whenever I go live, subscribe or follow to become a coin of the vault so you never miss a thing. Wherever you're viewing from, have a look around my YouTube channel for more stuff, including the audiobooks of MapleStory the novel Sacred Tears, Sly Cooper Rise of Vexen, and Arcane. Each story is fully voice acted with sound effects and background music so that you can sit down and watch or listen to while you go about your day. You can also find all kinds of previous storylines from MapleStory that I've already done. So, until next time, my friends.
Never be afraid to fall. Throw yourself for